Back to the news now. To an earlier report we brought to you. Persons with disabilities have urged the ministries, departments and agencies for quick and effective implementation of the Discrimination Against People with Disability Prohibition Act. They say after President Buhari signed the act into law in 2019, some of the ministries, departments and agencies are yet to comply with the act. The Executive Director of the Center for Citizens with Disabilities, David Anyele, said government has not been making an effort to see that the purpose of the act is achieved, which is to protect the rights of people with disabilities. Let's get more in this report.
Discrimination Against People with Disability Prohibition Act was signed by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019. According to a study carried out by the Center for Citizens with Disabilities, some of the ministries, departments and agencies are yet to comply with the act.
For 18 years, people with disabilities struggled to secure the passage of the National Disability Act. This assessment, we're not just conducting it here in Abuja.
According to the Executive Director of Center for Citizens with Disabilities, David Anyele, these MDAs do not know their roles and responsibilities in the implementation of the act. Hence, they seek to collaborate with them to build their capacity on the Disabilities Act.
What we are saying is that the purpose of the act has not been achieved. Government is not making effort to ensure that the purpose of the act is achieved. Discrimination is still pervasive. Access to public infrastructures in Abuja is still limited. Issues around priority, designated parking space for people with disabilities are still not being provided by ministry, department and agencies. We also discovered that people with disabilities are still struggling to get jobs in Abuja. Don't forget that the Act provides that 5% of employment opportunity will be provided for people with disabilities. So these are the things we found out from this study. Based on these our findings, what we are intend to do now is to seek collaboration with ministry, department and agency to build their capacity on the Disability Act. We're also going to be sensitizing ministry, department and agencies on the provisions of the Act.
Some of the representatives from different ministries, departments and agencies also responded to the report and disclosed how the Act will get the effective implementation.
It is with delight that we associate with the CCD on the assessment of compliance with the Disability Act. It should be noted that the National Human Rights Commission has been at the forefront in bringing to fore an actualization of the Persons Living with Disability Act.
So today, we are here together to make sure that more states comply with this act. Because if they don't, the federal map will not be able to reach everywhere. The state will have to take responsibility.
The National Commission of People Living with Disabilities, saddled with the responsibility of implementation of this act, said the commission is charged with organizing awareness programs.
Yes, our next line of action right now is to start scaling down the awareness creation program to the state and local government level. The reason being that, as I told you early this year, the CCD organized a capacity building workshop for the National Orientation Agency staff at the national headquarters here in Abuja. And one of the next step that came up from that training was for the NOAA at the state and local government levels to be trained so that we can now build the capacity of our state and local government staff to carry out an aggressive sensitization campaign program.
One of their demands was the 5% of employment opportunities that were supposed to be provided to people with disabilities. The report assessment carried out was based on 2020, and according to the Executive Director, the Center will commence another study to know the extent of compliance this year.